Bad news for the Golden State Warriors as we get the announcement today that Steph is expected to miss some time. We're going to talk about that, and we are also going to talk about what the upcoming schedule looks like for the Warriors in today's video. We're going to follow that up with some light talk on the Toronto Raptors and why you guys should be paying attention to them if you haven't been already. The East is actually really fun this year, I've got to say. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video here on the Basketball Bulletin. Make sure that you subscribe. Trevor Lane and I keep you guys informed with all the information around the NBA as it comes out. Happy Thanksgiving, happy holidays. Otherwise, let me know what you guys' plans are, etc. I want to know in the comments what you guys are planning to do. You're going to have family come to you. You're going to go visit, etc. For once, not really doing anything, and I'm not all too mad about it. Normally, we host, and that's a mess. So let me know what you guys' plans are. But ultimately, though, another reason why you guys need to subscribe is we appreciate all the guys that are obviously tuned in, but we're trying to hit a goal of, I believe, 40,000 by the end of the year. So we got roughly 30 days to do so. So help us hit our goal. We appreciate you. All right. So the Golden State Warriors anticipate Steph Curry will miss around a week or a little more with a quad contusion suffered Wednesday night. Sources tell me and Anthony Slater. He's believed to have avoided any serious issue. Return will depend on how quad responds to treatment. So obviously, the last part is the most important thing. Thankfully, he was able to avoid any bigger issue because obviously you never want to see anybody get hurt, certainly not one of the stars of the NBA. And for the Golden State Warriors, who I believe are 10-10 at this point, I've openly said in a few videos, I think that they'll kind of rebound that as the season goes on, but they absolutely can't be without Steph. They can't be without Steph for any long period of time. So overall, though, obviously something that I am very excited about, the fact that he's not going to be missing a chunk of time. When it comes down to it, though, he is going to be out for the next week. So I wanted to go ahead and look at what the schedule looks like for the Warriors. They don't play a game again until Saturday. Have a few days off here, so a little bit of time to recoup and game plan for Steph being out and things like that. And then moving on, they do play against OKC. You never say never. Anything's possible on any given night, but this is probably a loss with Steph, so it just is what it is. But that New Orleans game is certainly very winnable. The Philadelphia game, that's also a very winnable game. Philly is solid too, but again, very winnable game. So it's a game that I think they can still pull off without Steph, but that puts us at the week there. So is Steph going to come in on that game, or are they going to try to extend to Saturday, my birthday actually, December 6th in Cleveland? That could also be a possibility. He may wind up coming back there. They actually have a back-to-back. So they play the 6th and they play the 7th. So, he's not going to play both of those games. He's going to probably play if he's back and ready to go. Obviously, there's a possibility he gets extended. But if, hypothetically, he is back, there's a possibility that he's going to just play on one of these, the front or back leg of the back-to-back here. He's not going to play there. And then we have this really big chunk. I don't know what this is probably just the in-season tournament. So there's like some scheduling happening here. I bet if I look at other schedules, it'll look the same because 11 days off from a game is kind of crazy, right? So anyway, he'll be back in this window here most likely. So we'll see what happens. Which game would you guys prefer him come back for, right? Cleveland, that may be a bit of a tougher game, but Chicago is no slouch either. Again, the East is very good this year. I'm really excited about the East overall. So we're going to talk more about that as well. But like I said, hopefully you guys are having a great day and a great holiday, etc. So we'll be right back in just a moment after a quick word from today's video sponsor.
Ever hear the Sleeper app? Here's a little secret. It's more than just a platform for season-long fantasy leagues. This year, millions of users enjoyed playing fantasy sports on Sleeper, but the app offers so much more. Live stats, real-time updates, and visualizations on all stats. A news feed, this is so important for me. You can get lightning-fast updates on your favorite players and teams. A real-time chat to allow you to engage with other users about individual plays and performances during the NFL and NBA seasons. So download the #1 sports app today. Experience it for yourself. When you use promo code Bulletin, you get up to a $100 match on your first deposit. Terms and conditions apply. See Sleeper's terms of use for details. Currently operational in over 25 states. Check out Sleeper today. And by the way, they do have a phenomenal promo going on right now as well. Free $20 entry. Go check that out. No deposit required. $20 entry for free. Go check them out. Use the link in the description down below, and that promo code is Bulletin.
All right. So yesterday, Brandon Ingram actually had this awesome game winner against the Indiana Pacers. We're going to go ahead and watch it here. No, I can't make it any bigger, unfortunately, because copyright, of course, but we're going to watch it anyway. And you see BI get the ball here on the perimeter, isolate. Who's that? Siakam? Yeah, Siakam. Get down to the 15-foot range, pull up, nasty. Game winner there, point 0.6 on the clock. That's really, really cool. It's as a Laker fan, I'll say that it's really cool to see our guys, man, that we drafted. We believed in at first. Obviously, he got traded out, but he's still one of our guys, right? It's always nice to see them excel, right? I enjoy watching them. It was pretty bittersweet, I'll say, in the playoffs, going against Randall. He's another one of our guys, man. But Bi obviously there. He's been really good in Toronto. You know, they didn't really need him or play him much. They just gave him the rest of the season off, basically last year, if I remember correctly. But the Raptors, man, the Raptors are on a 9-game win streak right now. So that's really awesome. I was looking over some of these comments here. Glorilla was the best thing that happened to him. He's coming different this year. Kawhi Leonard, welcome back. Hello. Ayo. He's been on a tear. Getting traded to Toronto was the best thing that could happen to him. Raptors media giving Glorilla the Taylor Swift statement. Our treatment, was that her? They didn't show her face in there, but I know I guess it is. Oh my God. Look what happens when a guy leaves the dungeon that is New Orleans. For Bruce Brown and Kelly Angelio Olynyk. My goodness. Oh, yeah, that's right. That was the trade. So overall, though, BI, I'm not going to really talk poorly of New Orleans, but for his stint there, he dealt with a lot of injuries. They were never able to really put it together, but it does appear that he fits in great in Toronto. And I really do like Toronto's balanced approach here overall. Look at this scoring distribution here. 22 from Brandon. By the way, they've had most of these guys playing pretty much all these games. 22 points from Brandon, 20 basically from Scotty, 19 from RJ, 16 from Emmanuel. You have another 10 from Pirtle. Sandro's giving you 10. Like, I really do like this great distribution overall in terms of production, averaging out to 119 points a night. So I do think that they have been pretty awesome overall there. And you're seeing some of their younger guys kind of take that next step forward, like a Scotty and BI being the vet now, being able to help lead these guys. And again, on a 9-game win streak, that's pretty awesome. I wanted to look at some of their lineup data really quick, though, just on the surface, though. It's a little bit better than it appears, because when you dig into it a little bit, they have played the 23rd easiest schedule, or 23rd hardest, I guess. So it's going backwards, which, by the way, the Thunder have played the number 1 easiest. But this is always something that's like, I don't really hold this against teams because this is very muddied. For example, the Thunder have played the easiest one because they can't play themselves. Right? Sacramento has played the Thunder like 3 times, right? And so they've got the number 1 hardest schedules. Like, that type of stuff happens when you look at this, and there's other examples of that I can make. And then secondly, a couple of games can really shift this for you. For example, the Lakers have had the 4th easiest schedule up to this point, but prior to their last couple of games, they were one of the harder schedules played. So like a couple games can really shift this. And so I'm sure that in a couple of games or a couple of games ago, you could do the same for the Raptors and it shifts. But at this current moment in time, again, I'm not saying that to hold it against them, but they have had some easier opponents based on win percentage. And it's not that bad because as you progress, you look at their upcoming schedule, the schedule remaining, which is still the bulk of the season, they've got the 18th hardest schedule. So if they truly had one of the easiest schedules, then they would have one of the harder schedules remaining, like the Thunder are number 4, right? They're on the complete opposite end of the spectrum there. And some of that's just, again, some of these teams haven't actually played the other great teams in the NBA. But overall, though, Toronto has been amazing regardless of any of that. Looking into their lineup data, they're killing it with their primary group. Pirtle, Barnes, Barrett, Ingram, and Quickly, they are killing it. 124 points per 100 possessions. That is ridiculous. They're killing it. 87th percentile. The defense leaves a bit to be desired, but they're still killing it because it's 117 on defense, but they're still killing it with that grouping to the tune of a +6 diff. Now, when they start looking to some of the other pairings, then it starts getting a little bit more Like when they go over to Murray Boyles, it's not been as great instead of Pirtle. But overall, though, the Raptors have been really good. And like I said, the East has been really solid this year. I mean, if we look at the NBA standings, look at the way that some of these Eastern teams are performing up to this point. And then I would expect some of the other teams to obviously get better as the season goes on. Milwaukee, obviously, there's no big reason. There's no it's obvious why they're losing, right? It's obvious. They're on a 6-game losing streak, Giannis and all. Philly, 2-game losing streak here. Started really, really well. Same with Chicago. Both these teams started really well. Starting to fall back down. I do think both of these teams are better than basically a 500 team. Boston, actually, opposite happened. They've been on a nice tear here, 7-3 in their last 10. And I think they're okay with winning some of these games. If they wind up, in the play-in area, that's fine. And we'll see what happens with them. I mean, there's a world where Tatum comes back towards the end of the year, and I'm not saying they'll compete for a title, but they could be really, really good towards the end of the season and really see what they have and allow them to make adjustments on the current iteration of the team and project forward to next season. Orlando, I was hoping they'd be a tick better than this, 11-8, but obviously still a great way to go. They started pretty slowly, 7-3 again, also in the last 10 games. Atlanta just keeping it afloat, 7-3 in their last 10 without Trey. And then Cleveland, 12-7. There's so much pressure on Mitchell with what they're doing here. Hopefully, they're able to figure that out. And also Mobley as well. But they've had a couple of recent games that were really tough for them. But overall, look at the Toronto Raptors. Look at the Detroit Pistons. Look at the Miami Heat. These teams are the top 3 teams currently in seeding right now. Ridiculous. And each of these teams is bringing some unique stuff to the table, right? Like the Miami Heat, their pace is electric. These guys, it's so hard to guard them. Also because I was watching a video from, I believe, Thinking Basketball, and they did a great job breaking down how and why the Miami Heat are exploiting the NBA today. Unfortunately, what this means is that everyone's going to copy this within the next couple of years. Everyone's going to be doing the same thing, where it's less pick and rolls, all these other things. They detail how the NBA's offenses have changed and all that stuff. It's a great video. I think you should check it out. We're not sponsored, of course. You're not going to hear us plug too many other channels, but I think they do great work. Anyway, and Miami, they are ahead of the curve. And so they are extremely tough to deal with. They even reintegrated Tyler Hero. Didn't really miss a beat with that either. So that's pretty great too. And then Detroit, we talked about them recently. They're just coming out like gangbusters. And I think Cade's really, 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 I think we need to have more conversations about Cade. Like, he doesn't get talked about enough in that, like, young blue chip, not even blue chip anymore. I guess still, but you get my point. But like that young superstar conversation, like Ant, etc. He needs to be in those conversations nationally more, right? Because Cade he's amazing, right? And again, I really love on Toronto. This wasn't supposed to be a whole like East video. I'm gonna wrap on this. I really love on Toronto also, and several of these teams, in fact, Atlanta, several of these teams. I really love like that youth movement that they've all got, for one, and two, just long switchy wings. They've all got a plethora of those guys. Like they can throw out 3-4 in any given lineup. It's pretty hard to deal with, right? I mean, imagine trying to go up against a pairing of Ingram, Quickly, and Barnes. Like that's kind of tough. All those dudes can switch and guard whatever position, and then they're playing Barnes and Ingram as the forwards. They're not playing like a slower traditional 4 all that often or anything like that. So they can also get out in transition and punish you that way. So overall, though, really, really, really enjoying the Eastern Conference this year. And I think that some of these teams, like I said, are underachieving. Some of these teams may also be overachieving. But I think that we haven't talked enough about the quality of the East this year, right? All right, everyone. Thank you all for tuning in. Hopefully you enjoyed this video. Happy Thanksgiving, and I'll see you all in the next one. Take it easy.